What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Blended Talk. It's Najee. Today we got another guest today, Bo. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name's Bo. I work with Najee. He knows my story. He asked me if I'd come on and just talk about being in a blended family.
First off, I guess, Bo, how's life been? I guess because how long you been married? Should I say
Oh, 3.5 years, almost 4 years.
3.5 years? And your
Um,
wife, she had a
she had a daughter and a son, and I had a son coming into it. So, I mean, having a son, and I had him for 16 years before we got married. So all I ever knew how to do was raise a boy.
mm,
And
so it's
then I
different, kind of getting in.
jumped right into a 14-year-old girl right in the middle of them hormones. It was
Mhm.
like, whoo, that was something else.
That's probably more challenging than dealing with a boy. Should
Yeah.
I say, right?
I mean, on the topic of discipline, I mean, disciplining a boy is easy. You treat him like a man, he's going to act like a man. That's what I always tried to teach my son as he was growing up. Respect your elders, respect your mother. Once you get in the dating scene, respect your girlfriend. That's your future wife. That's how you raise your kid to be respectful to his mother and to his girlfriend. He's going to be a good husband in the future. In my opinion, it's easier to raise a boy than a girl because as a dad, you can be a lot more stern or loud with the boy, where girls, I know you got a mess of them.
Right.
You got to walk that fine line with the girls. Where with the boys, I was very blunt with it. And my son, and
Right.
he's a really good kid.
Definitely do. You and his mother was married before, right?
Correct.
Okay. And when you guys split up, did you just get Brennan? Did you get him just full custody of him?
No, we had joint custody.
Okay.
But he was 14, 15 at the time.
Oh, okay.
Um, I I had my own place. She was kind of staying with her dad at the time, so he had his own space at my place.
Okay.
So he just stayed with me most of the time, and it just ended up being that way. We had joint custody. We split amicably. There wasn't any hostility. We still get along great to this day,
That's
and
good.
I thank God for that every day because we can co-parent.
That's good. Has she
So
married?
she
Remarried?
has not
She has
married
not
yet.
remarried. Okay. So how would you say your wife and your son's relationship is?
Fantastic.
Good. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
she treats Brennan just like one of her own. Anybody that knows me and hears me talk about my stepdaughter knows that she is just my daughter. There is no step there. I don't use that term. I use daughter because that's what she is. It's definitely a harder disciplining her
Mhm.
because they get very emotional.
Mhm.
And it took me a long time because I would upset her because, being loud and being a Marine, I'm used to being loud and just stern and bold.
Mhm.
And well, I'd get loud with that girl, and she would just start crying, and then I'd feel about an inch tall.
I feel the pain there with the girls. Of course, I got a gang of them, so
Yeah,
it definitely seems like at times you gotta be a little more delicate, should I say, with them. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like me personally having all girls that they start getting like wind that okay, yeah, he's seeing being soft because I'm getting a little crocodile tears and all that. So sometimes I gotta still stay stern with them. Definitely is a lot harder disciplining the girls for sure. Um, I would prefer to just rather take stuff from them,
yeah,
but that don't always work. Um,
yeah. There's definitely that fine balancing act
right.
between being softer and being a pushover,
hmm
and when they start taking advantage of that being soft, then that's when you got to get stern again.
Right. So I got three sisters myself. Two of them got the same mom, and another one we got a different mom. So none of them stayed here with me until they all came and stayed eventually. Like when each one of them turned 16, they ended up coming and staying here. And that particular time, they came over in summers and all that, but I had never really seen my dad like whoop, spank, or do any of that to any of my sisters. And I don't know if it was one of those things where, you know, he had a relationship with them, but he wasn't. They lived with their mom and they stayed in North Carolina. All my sisters stayed in different states except two of them. Two of them stayed in North Carolina, and then another one stays in New York. And I don't know if he had just felt like since he wasn't with them that much, maybe that he felt that he didn't want to whoop them, get physical. I don't know. But I had never seen him physically whoop any of my sisters. So when it came to me whooping my girls, I mean, I definitely do it and done it when they was younger and still will or whatever. But it's like, it's like the older they get, the less I don't know, want to do that. Of course, I think that's what any of them, any kid really in general, but especially the girls for whatever reason.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm talking about with the girls because it's not necessarily a conscious decision. They didn't live full time
Right.
with you, so your dad subconsciously could have been just torn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do I go about disciplining this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way with my daughter. I've never had to spank any of
Right.
my kids, not even Brennan. Talking stern to him, he picked up well. I got to tell you a story. Growing up, I was whooped a lot. Some deserving, most not. But so Brennan, I got a call from the school one time. It's the only time I ever got a call from the school. Brennan was acting like a class clown, flipping his hair in school, quit paying attention, wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And I told the teacher, I said, it'll be taken care of tonight. And she started backtracking. I don't know if she thought I was going to beat on him or what. But when he got home, his bedroom was empty. The only thing he had was a bed. And that boy loves his hair, and I shaved his head. Yeah, I never had another problem with him at school with him.
That is what I call optimistic disciplining. I just don't never really think to be that optimistic. I guess I'm just old fashioned because it's more than one way to discipline. How's it with your stepson?
Complicated. I love him just as much as I love her, but he's difficult because he's older. He's 23 now. Very big in the church, very big in the church organization. So he's always got yapping in his ears. They're not doing God's work. They're not doing what God's supposed to be doing. Blah, 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 blah. Then he fights and he pushes back. He's had people let him get away with everything his whole life. He's never been held accountable for stuff that he's done. When you come into times like that and then you come in as a authority figure, that gets real difficult because then not only are you fighting against him, but you're fighting against the people who have let him get away with everything, which it makes it real difficult.
The enablers. Yes. Is his father in his life at all?
No.
No.
Now my daughter's dad, yes, he's in her life. He's a good dad. He's just busy all the time. He definitely struggles to make ends meet. We encourage her to go see him. And she absolutely loves her dad. She loves her dad. I guarantee you more than she loves me. But I know she loves me, and that's all that matters.
Right. The frustrating coming from the from everything going on with your stepson. How does that affect you? Does it have any type of effect on you and your wife?
It doesn't necessarily have an effect on me and my wife. Mm-hmm. Other than I have to see her upset because her relationship declines with their son every time this happens because he doesn't want to take accountability for what he does. He wants to put the blame on everybody else.
Does he live with you guys?
He does not.
How do you guys feel about that? Was that something that happened, or has he been gone? Or
he's been gone a little over a year.
Oh, okay.
Or pretty close to a year now.
You guys feel like that was something that did that necessarily make things better?
It didn't make things better, but it didn't make things worse. It's about the same. But in my opinion, he needs to come forward and admit that he was wrong on stuff that he did, which I don't ever foresee him doing because he's got people in his ear telling him that we were the ones in the wrong.
Do you ever feel like at times that putting it in the past behind you on whatever it was that caused a big issue and just trying to move forward from that point, or is it just something that you think is just gonna keep happening type deal?
It's not like a constant thing that the reason why we don't all get along great. It's just individual little things. But I have no problem putting things in the past and just letting it go. But at what point, and like I said, he's 23 years old. At what point do you step back? How do I say this? When you step back, if you just keep saying, all right, I'm going to forgive and forget, he never learns. So then his cycle of I don't do anything wrong because they keep coming back and saying, oh, let's just forgive and forget this. He's never going to take accountability for what he's done. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what do you think at this point is it that you guys could do to try to make the relationship better? Do you feel like there is anything you guys could do?
Absolutely, there's things. I mean, we still love him.
Mm-hmm.
We still see him. Um, there's not animosity when we see him. There's just still that little buried hurt, I guess is the best way to say it. You know you were wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to admit it.
So his father's never been in his life.
Never.
How old was he when you came in the picture?
He was 19 or 20.
19 or 20. Okay,
Yeah,
so pretty much
he,
still a
he
young
was
adult.
he was an adult.
So at that point, when you guys met, was like, were you able to still kind of bond or form a pretty genuine, strong relationship?
Known him since he was 14 or 15.
Oh, okay,
His mom, me and his mom were friends long before we ever started dating.
gotcha.
I knew her ex-husband and her. We were all friends. They were divorced. I don't know, 7, 8 years. Me and Brennan's mom separated and got divorced. There's a lot of that I'm not going to go into, but like neither one of us did anything wrong. We just one day we were just sitting down having dinner and we were just like, what are we doing? We're going to be two different people. We got different goals in life. There's things I want to do, you don't want to do. The things you want to do, I don't want to do. I think it's just time for us to move on, go our separate ways, and that's what happened. And it was fine. Like I said, we split amicably. There was no discontent, anything like that. But when me and my current wife started dating, it surprised everybody because we were friends for so long.
Mm-hmm. How did he take to that?
He was fine with it.
Fine with it.
Yeah.
At this point, how do you, you move in and get married, and your wife, she has a 14-year-old daughter and a 18-year-old son. How do you come in? And and you're bringing your son with you too at this point too.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, how do you come in and set down the structure for what the house gonna be now? Because you the man, you moving in, you the man of the house now. So how do you establish that?
Yeah, that's difficult. That's real difficult setting down the boundaries in an existing household, especially an existing household that you're new to. You're coming in as the man of the house. You're supposed to be the alpha, the king, the one who the be all end all
Right.
of the house. And I mean, I say that way, but my wife's very much part of the top of the food chain as well. We consider ourselves equals and not just me being the man of the household. But definitely when it comes to discipline, I'm the guy.
Right.
Like I said at the beginning of this, the way I raise Brennan, respect your elders, do all that, I tried to instill that in him as well. I'm a God-fearing man, but when you let people in your church override what morals you should have, not everybody in church is good. Not everything they preach is right. It can make things difficult when you're being brainwashed. And when you're classified as the evil one because of what they're being told in the church, it makes it real hard to discipline, especially an adult kid. The daughter, that was it was a shared custody thing for a long time.
Oh, with her father.
With her father. Set schedule, boom, boom, boom. Even no child support, none of that. Just everything down the middle. Everything was good. She got older and she started to drive. She slowly spent more and more time at our house,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's our house she lives in. So I don't know if she just feels a lot more comfortable there, or if she feels like she's got more free space there, or what it is. But it doesn't bother me. I love having her there because I mean, there's not a guideline for discipline.
Right.
I mean, there's definitely a difference between monkeying around and accidentally knocking a hole in the wall, or stealing your dad's car and going on a joyride.
Right.
Those are definitely different. I mean, you just have to take the situation, assess it. And that's one thing that I do different than the way it was when I was growing up. Like when I was growing up, everything was 0 to 100. Right now, it didn't matter whether you tripped on the garden hose and yanked it out of your dad's hand, or you shot the neighbor's dog.
Right.
The discipline was the same. So now, as an adult and as a father myself, I try to assess the situation. Okay, was this an accident? Okay, instead of discipline, let's have a teaching moment here. Why don't you? Why aren't you going to do that again? Because this could happen. This could happen. This could happen. That's the reason why I understand it was an accident. You should have thought ahead. You know, and then the other ones, if she stole my car and went on a joyride, I'd probably have to chase her down.
Is there ever any been a time where like because I guess you guys only had to ever deal with your daughter's dad.
Yeah.
So you guys always pretty much got along, never disagreed on anything when it came to her.
No.
So has there ever been a time where you felt like you didn't know what to do because you felt like it was only so much you can do?
1,000 times. 1,000 times I have felt that way.
It almost feels like at times it's like I'm either gonna do something and probably regret it, or I'm not gonna do, or like I just pretty much got to do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a terrible feeling.
It really is.
I definitely feel like as the man of the house, you feel like, I mean, you're the one that should be able to do something if anybody can't do anything. And at times, it's been times where things has gotten a little out of whack, and it's like, okay, what are we gonna do about this? Because this cannot continue.
Yeah.
And it's like, but what can you do to stop it from continuing? My stepdaughter, she gets up 7 o'clock or whatever. Her bus comes around 8. Sometimes she has hard times getting up for whatever reason and misses the bus. And her mom has to take her. One time, once every blue moon, that's fine and all. But and it's not like she do it every single day. But it's been times where she has missed it 3 times in a week or something like that. And it's like, what are you doing? Kind of look at that with like, is she just kind of acting out in a way because things ain't going her way at home? So she's just lagging, unmotivated, being, acting all depressed and whatnot, just slouching, moving all along slow, and end up missing the bus. And it's like, okay, you're not gonna keep, like, it's like, we can't say bump it and forget you and just you miss school. Obviously, what can you do besides take her? It's just like, my day, you do that. The first time you good, the next 2 times you're gonna be getting woke up with a belt.
Yeah.
So, which me personally, like, I would do that. Me personally, if I was there. We're at work before we're at work before they get up. So
7 o'clock's late.
Yeah, right. So there's just moments that it's just like, it's like, what can you do? What can you do? Especially when it's like you got, like in your case, saying in your case where you say your stepson, his father isn't even in the picture. Mm-hmm. My stepdaughter's father is in the picture. So it's like, I kind of got to take into consideration things that I wouldn't necessarily say would affect him, but it's like we kind of got to look at my discipline procedures and think of like ways that they're not going to cause trouble for me. in a way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
It does.
So, and that's a tough thing to do because there's really not too many ways to get around that, especially when it's like, like I said, there's only one or two other options to do. So has that been pretty much one of the main troubles throughout, your blended family journey or whatever? Just kind of the whole discipline and your steps on taking accountability with things. That's
Yeah,
been the only.
it's the accountability and the discipline aspect, and you know, let me see, you've been in your stepdaughter's life since she was a baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, when you step into it at a later age, it gets real hard. They've already got their own personality. They're already used to a certain way of things, and when you try to come in and you try to bring change to what they're used to, it can be real difficult. There's been times I wasn't sure me and my wife were going to make it because I didn't know if I was going to overstep too far. Definitely times I thought she was going to choose the kids over me because I thought maybe I overstepped too far.
Did you guys have those type of conversations before a big problem came up, like whatever? Would it, like whenever you guys got married, did you say, hey, look, like, since, we're together now, um, I'm all in with the kids. Is there any boundaries or anything that you don't want me to cross with them?
No, we didn't have any conversations like that, but she knew I was all in with the kids. I will do anything to protect her and my family.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and my stepson, my son, I will watch the world burn to protect them. That's just how I am as a dad, and I'm sure you're exactly the same way. Put that cocoon around them and watch everything around you burn to make sure they're okay.
Right.
Whether we're disagreeing at the time, whether we're not getting along, I love them all the same,
Mm-hmm.
and I love them all very much. But you also have to put that to the side sometimes, especially with the discipline aspect, and make them take accountability. But as far as me and the wife talking about that, no, we didn't when we got married. It just came up, and the daughter was the most difficult on that part.
Really?
On the discipline part, yeah. So, but that ended up sorting itself out. We found out there was some lying that was done to her that gave her some anxiety and stuff like that. And when things got called out, it changed. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better stepmom growing up.
Oh, you had a stepmother growing
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, I lived with my dad. My birth mom walked out when I was 3. Never seen her again after that. So my dad raised me. I had an amazing stepmom. She did everything she could for us. She stepped up. She was my mom. I never called her stepmom. I never called her anything but mom. I've never called her by her name. It's always been mom. She was amazing. And I know for a fact I was not the easiest stepson to deal with.
To be a step parent to me almost means to show unconditional love. Most case scenario, I feel like your kids always gonna come back and look out in some type of form, way or fashion as they get older, and to take care of their parents and all that.
I mean, the gist of it is you were there to be dad. They're not gonna like everything you do.
Right.
They're not gonna hate everything you do. But at the end of the day, my goal is to make sure they respect me and they become a productive member of society. That is my reward.
Yeah.
When I sit back and I can look at my kids and I can be like, okay, they're a productive member of society.
Do you think people want too much out of kids these days?
I don't think they want enough out
Want
of
enough
kids these days. I mean, you stop and think about when you were a kid, what was expected of you.
You're right. I mean,
and you stop and look at what's expected out of these kids nowadays. There ain't no way.
What? Right. So it's like, what do you call a productive member of society these days? I guess just somebody that's willing to get a job nowadays.
Willing to get a job, be functional. It's really hard nowadays to be out on your own. They've made it almost impossible for kids to move out of the house at 18, 19, even 20 years old. Just the ability, the drive to go out and attempt to do that, try to get a job that makes enough money. Whether you're going to a trade school, whether you're going to college, whether you're going doing online courses, anything to try to progress your life, not set in a stagnant role, being happy flipping burgers at a McDonald's or a Burger King, or, you know, stocking shelves in a store or something like that. You should always be driving yourself to do something better. As kids, they have a whole lot more time and a whole lot more free time and free space to pursue that. It's like when he graduated high school, I told him, I said, you got a year. Decide, you going to college, you getting a trade. I said, but you don't have to work this first year. Just take a year off, enjoy being a kid, enjoy life. He didn't want it. He wanted to work. He got a job. It came to that year, and I looked at him. I said, what are you doing? I said, you want to go to college? Well, you want to get a trade? He said, well, I don't want to go to college yet. He's like, I don't know what I want to do. I appreciate you not wasting my money.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you not wasting my money. So, I took him. He said, how about I come work with you? So I figured out a way, got him this CDL. And as you know, he works with us now. Man, I couldn't imagine being 19, 20 years old making the money we make.
Right. I know that's right.
I mean, can you imagine making the money we make at 19, 20 years old? I definitely wouldn't be as responsible as my kid is.
Right.
Started online courses yesterday. He's doing some kind of online stuff to get his insurance
License.
So
that'd be cool.
Just starting something part time. Just try to help his friends and people out. And,
hell yeah.
But I mean, you know how I am. I don't know. I'm that soft heart dad. You know the people that live with me. I mean, I've got kids that aren't my kids. That they're in no way, shape, or form. They're not a stepson or a stepdaughter. They're not, they're not my son or daughter, but they live with me because they needed something. They needed help, and I will do anything I can to help any of the youth nowadays become a member of society who just isn't a leech on the system.
Do you think a stepfather should have any type of boundaries on disciplining kids?
Honestly, no. I don't. If you're going to accept him into your life and expect him to treat them kids like they are his, they should respect him like he's the father. Whether you're an adult or a child, when it's miscalculated like that, there's going to be animosity that brews somewhere in your brain, in your soul, in your heart, or something. You're going to feel like you're not getting your fair shake.
Do you feel like fathers should have a say-so where the child is stand on how they're being disciplined?
To a point. The physical part of it, I mean, you should definitely have a conversation on how far that can go.
Mm-hmm.
Beating an ass, that's one thing. But, I mean, a man should never raise his hand and hit a kid in the face.
Right.
If, my ex-wife would have ever got married when Brendan was little and he went over there and a man raised his hand and hit my son, they'd probably still be looking for his body. I'm just saying, that's just where it's at with that. I had enough of that when I was a kid, and I refused to watch it happen.
You talking about abuse?
Yeah.
Abuse. So
yeah, there comes a point where it goes from discipline to abuse, and it's at that point that's where you have to draw the line.
Right.
But other than that, like as the dad, you should be all in for making sure your kid's a decent human being.
Right.
And if the other man in the relationship is a decent human being and all they're trying to do is help your kid, you should have no issue with the way they're punishing them.
A lot of people, I think, will have a hard time swallowing that pill.
Yeah, a lot of people would.
I agree. I definitely 100% agree. We see a lot of people nowadays with these ideologies that step parents shouldn't be able to physically discipline their stepchild because it's not their biological child. But in the same instance, if a man broke in or somebody broke in at night, I'm sure they will want that same one who's not allowed to discipline that child to still protect and risk his life to save that child.
100%.
So that's where those ideologies to me don't match up at all and make sense.
But because I know for a fact if somebody broke into your house, you're not going to snatch your girls, go run and throw them in a panic room and say, "Oh, I can't punish,
right?
I can't punish you the right way.
Right.
Go fend for yourself."
Right.
That's it. Doesn't work that way. You're
Right.
going to defend them the same way you defend your own.
Right.
And if you're willing to put your life on the line and defend them, and you're willing to step up and be the man in their life and be a dad, you should have all the rights of a dad. Whether it says step in front of it or not, you should have every right as a dad.
What do you think about dads that pretty much still causing havoc through the kid? They use the kid to cause problems in the house, or moms too.
Yeah, I mean that rib definitely goes.
Or
both
moms
ways.
too.
I haven't had to deal with it. I have a feeling it wouldn't work out well. Let's
Right.
just go with that. I just think it wouldn't work out well. Somebody was trying to use one of the kids to create turmoil in my own house when that's supposed to be your place of peace. Yeah, I think at some point you have to step up and find a way to end that turmoil and get your peace back. Talking to them or getting an attorney and doing it that way.
Would you ever recommend your kids to date or be with anyone who had children?
Oh, I wouldn't care.
Wouldn't care?
Not at all.
Nor would you recommend it though?
In a perfect world, you'll marry the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Can I say recommend? No. I would prefer them to find a person they want, marry, have kids, stay married for 70, 80 years, die with 14 grandkids or whatever. That's what I would recommend. But that's in a perfect world.
Right.
This world's not set up for that anymore.
Okay, yeah, you're right about that.
One of my opinions on why divorce rates are so high is because there is always another option. With social media, there's always somebody on there. I've deleted all my social media, and one thing I do still have is I have Facebook, and I have very select friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have very few friends on there, and they're very select. And honestly, it's one of the best things I've done. My peace has compounded 100 times without social media, because I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention to any of that. And with social media gone, I don't have to worry about politics, the news, anything like that, because honestly, it doesn't affect me. I keep just enough in it to know whether I need to start protecting myself or not, and my family.
So, when you moved in with your wife, how was it? How was Brennan and his stepbrother relationship? Did they get along pretty good right off the bat?
No, not really.
How was that kind of like, introducing them, like as a family now, we're going to be a family? Was that, because like when my sisters came and lived with me, obviously I never had any type of issues with any of my sisters. I don't know if it was because they were girls and I was a boy, but, I never had any type of jealousy feeling or anything like that.
And it was fine. I mean, they didn't fight. They're just different people.
Mm-hmm.
They have very different interests, very,
just kind of two different people.
Yeah, they're two very different people.
Was there ever any type of like a concern or any type of expressed feelings that maybe he felt any type of left out or anything like that?
I tried to make sure I included them in everything. I did certain things with my stepson that my stepson was interested in, that my son wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. I did things with Brennan that my stepson wasn't interested in, and same thing with my daughter. I did stuff with her that the boys weren't interested in, or I would just go do stuff with her individually just to build a relationship with them. Because the hardest one to build a relationship with was the 14-year-old girl. She hated me for a long time. I mean, it took a good couple years.
Really?
But now, like, she's like this with me. She absolutely loves me. She knows she can come to me. She can ask me anything.
So you had some major bonding to do with her to get
Yes.
things right. How was that process?
Long.
Long.
It was very long. But it took effort. I mean, you talk about difficult. Try taking your 14, 15-year-old stepdaughter to a place she really wants to go, and the whole time she's mean mugging you and on her phone. And then you go and she has fun, and then she opens up a little bit. You know how hard it is to keep doing that. Every couple of weeks that when you got her, trying to just break down that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go do this. Knowing the whole time that, in the back of her mind, you're just the scum who married her mom.
Right.
But still, you're fighting. You fight every chance you can to build that relationship. But trust me, the first time I heard the words "I love you" come out of her mouth, like it was like that one of the happiest days of my life.
Really?
I mean, it was 2 years of constant going and doing stuff, feeling unappreciated, feeling taken advantage of, to the point where when that day came and she finally was like, "I love you."
Was there ever any moments in you like, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this?
No, there never really was, because I mean,
Unconditional?
when I married her mom, I fell in love with her as well. That little ball of pain in the ass, I fell in love with her just the same. It's that unconditional thing. When I decided I was going to marry my wife, I wasn't just taking her; I was taking her kids too. They were my kids now. They were my responsibility to take care of.
Is there anything you want now, like out of your family, like any type of future aspirations or anything like that?
Well, me and my wife, we have our own aspirations, but with the kids, I want them to. I seriously want to see them get everything they want in life. I mean, whether they want to be the world's best barista or they want to be the president of the United States, I will do everything in my power to fight for them, to help them get to where they want to be. I just want to see them happy.
Gotcha.
It is real hard to be happy in this world.
It is.
And I will sacrifice my happiness to watch my kids be happy. And I 100% know you feel the same way, because I've watched you sacrifice your happiness for your family.
Yeah, hitting that stay button all the time.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely.
I have watched you repeatedly sacrifice your happiness for your family. I told you this a long time ago, and I still mean it to this. As a dad, I look up to you.
Oh, man, right on, man.
Because you are an amazing father and you are an amazing person.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So,
thanks, Bo. It's tough. It is definitely tough. It's rough, tough. At the end of the day, though, I feel like if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like this is, I don't want to say what I'm supposed to be doing. Obviously, I think that's anybody that's in my position and doing what I'm doing. That's what you're supposed to be doing. It's just trying my hardest to make sure that, like you said, basically, because, one of my greatest fears, I think my greatest fear actually probably is leaving this world and leaving my girls unprepared.
Mm-hmm.
Just them not having a good foresight of what a man's supposed to be in life, how they're supposed to take care of themselves, staying true to their faith. Um, just knowing how to go about and have a good, decent life. That's my whole goal for my kids. Um, not to sit up and chase money, have all the finest things in life, even though I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be materialistic. Nothing wrong with wanting nice things, though. Just, be humble, be appreciative, and be thankful for everything you got, because you just never know when it's going to be your day. I got all these girls, so it's just rough. So I worry for them. I feel like I kind of wanted to do this podcast because I feel like this helps not just other parents, but me too, therapeutic, and kind of have conversations with people and kind of make me think about things myself as well. And just kind of sometimes give me a different outlook. And, I think sometimes this could help give other people a different outlook on things as well. Like you said, at times, there was times where you just felt like, man, like I just don't know what to do. Like I can sit up and call 1,000 people. I mean, don't nobody necessarily got the answer on what to do. So it's almost just like, I almost look at life as sometimes like an experiment. Like we're just kind of going through it and seeing trying to figure things out. We don't really got the right answer, but we're going to try to do something and see where we can go with it. Hopefully somewhere positive. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you have that person like I do, but getting them situations, you've got to have a person that you can just call. They're not going to have the answer.
Right.
You've got to understand that. But you can call and chew their ear for a little bit, and you've got to have that person that's going to be honest with you.
Right.
They're either going to look at you and say, "Shut up, you're being whiny," and you just whatever, or no, you've got a legitimate complaint here. I mean, you need to do something. You need to talk with your spouse about this, or something like that. But you need them to be 100% honest with you, and that having that person in your corner that you've got on dial, that helps a lot.
Yeah. What would you say out there? What would you say to anybody that's out there? Any advice you would give to a person that's probably potentially about to get into a blended family or going to marry someone with a child? What would you say? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Straight up, the one piece of advice I would give is don't do it half-ass. If you're gonna do it, go in full steam. Be the dad. Be the person. They're going to respect you more if you go in and you just show them that you care and you're there to be a person in their life, than to go in half-ass and try to be their friend first. If you do that, you're going to end up getting ran over.
So you think, but even if the dad is heavy in the life?
Even if the dad's heavy in their life, you're going to be heavy in their life too. I mean, if you're getting married and you're taking that mom, I'm standing by what I said.
Do you think a lot of men will have trouble doing that? Maybe pushing a boundary, since it seems like they're already still tight with their dad. They're, got joint custody. She's over there half the week and she's with you guys half the week. Do you think that most men will feel like, well, I mean, she's already really close to her dad, me trying to be close to her, like she might feel like I'm trying to push it, or maybe she's just not really less reluctant, since she do have a really good relationship with her dad, that, she don't really need that attention from me.
Well, it's just like I just talked about. When I say go full in, don't half-ass it. Go in and try to be that dad. My daughter has a really good relationship with her dad. They're very, very close. And she hated me. Like I said, it took me 2 years. 2 years, full tilt, doing everything I could, every opportunity I could, to prove to her that I was going to be there for her and that I cared for her. And it took a long time, but it was there. But I didn't go in half-ass. I went in. I went full in. and I had to prove to her that I was there for her. It's not easy when they're that age.
Right.
You got to prove to them that you're there for them, not just their mom or their dad or whatever. You have to go in and prove that you're there for them as well. You marry your spouse, you marry them kids.
Me personally, I think a lot of guys just find it hard to do, or might find it hard to do, if watching their stepchild bond closely with their father and then trying to still have a similar relationship like that. I think a lot of them might get um, cold feet because they might fear they can't get that same affection from them. You know what I mean?
And I wasn't sure I was ever going to get that same affection. If I didn't, I didn't. As long as it got to the point where she knew she could trust me, that's really all that mattered to me. I could have gave up 1,000 times and just said whatever, but I didn't. I kept pushing it because I wanted to go in full. I wanted to be a part of her life just as much as I was her mom's life. That girl knows now that at any given point in time, if she feels scared, if she feels worried, anything,
She can
if
come to
she's
you.
not home, one phone call, or if she's home and something's bothering her, any time of day, any time of night, she can come get me, and she knows I'm there.
Like, how do you feel about co-parents communication?
I mean, they still co-parent. They always have.
Oh, still okay. So they still
Yeah, I
communicate.
mean, yeah, she's 17. I mean, look, Brennan's 20 years old, and I still talk to his mom about him. You know, a lot of things. Like she's got questions about what's going on, she'll call me. I got questions, I'll call her. Um, he's 20 years old. You don't quit being a parent just because they're 20.
Right. Right. So no, what I was gonna say
And
is,
with me and her, like we still co-parent. Like that's we keep up with him through both of us.
got you. So here's what I'm saying. Have you ever felt any type of way? Like me personally, like for example, me personally, I'll say when I mean I'm used to it now. I don't really got a problem with it or anything like that. But I wouldn't see a problem if it was this way either, though. To where she didn't do the communicating with him. I did. To where like any type of anything going on with my stepdaughter, you know, I talk to him, choreographing pickups, drop offs. I'm talking to him, and yada yada yada. And my wife don't have to talk to him. Me being personal about that. Like I'm saying like that. Me as a man, territorial about my woman. That's just me. What do you think about things like that? Because I do know there are certain marriages where they do operate like that. I know it's not a lot because it's not really a common thing for people to do that. And I get it. I mean, I know, you know, most women, they're more detailed. I know they're more detailed in depth with things. It would explain things about kids more so than a man. We're just going to really get the point across, get straight to it or whatever, which is fine. But, you know, yeah.
I would forget my name if I didn't have my wife. So with that being said, I have no issue with her having to talk with him.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody's brought up different, and I mean absolutely zero disrespect in this, Najee.
Mm-hmm.
I have full 100% trust in my wife. I have no problem with any man she talks to. But with my wife's work, she talks to a lot of men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's in that restaurant business. Her business partners are men, almost all of them. A lot of the managers are men. A lot of the people she works with are men. If I worried about every man she talked to, I just might as well crawl in her skin and live there. So, I mean, you understand from my point of view?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, so everybody's experience is different. So I can't speak on your behalf just as well as you can't speak on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
I have to 100% trust my wife. If not, I would drive myself crazy.
But do you think that's necessarily have anything to do with trust? Because what if it's not really necessarily about trust?
Is it just about the ex?
No, I just feel like
or
just
just
about
a man in general?
just I wouldn't necessarily say a man in general. I guess just the ex, typical parenting, you know. Because not to say that it's necessarily you worried about him or any type of text that ain't related to the child. Maybe they always argue. Maybe he always picking an argument. Maybe she always picking an argument.
Okay, now in that case, then that's where I would step in and I would do the communicating.
Got you.
If there was that situation, like he was always just trying to cause turmoil for her, yeah, at that point, that's where I would step up and I'd be the one to do the communicating. I just tell her, step back, let me take care of this. But honestly, I'd have to look at her and say, you got to write everything down so I know what the hell I'm talking about because I ain't going to remember. But,
right.
Yeah. But at that point, yeah, I would be the one who had to communicate. I mean, and I can understand if that's like your situation, then I would understand why you were the one communicating. Fortunately, we didn't have that issue.
Yeah, I think that's about it, really.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, it's been nice. This is Najee with Blended Talk. Thanks for coming out, Bo. Appreciate you coming and sharing your story with us. Maybe we can have you back on the show again.
Absolutely. You let me know.
So for sure. So if you guys like the video, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more on Blended Talk.